Yeah, we hold Billy too there. Okay, Bill, come
Ladies
on
and gentlemen,
around.
please hold it quiet.
Okay, that's the shot.
What up, world? Thank you for ripping another ticket to an installment of Hellhound Film Club. I'm your host, Cody Pope, and as always, this is my co-host,
Danny Dimes.
And as we truly are every time we do this, we're thrilled to introduce tonight's panel and special feature. So get your popcorn and let the credits roll. First to our panel for the evening is a longtime friend of the show. From the very first episodes of Hellhound Film Club back in 2021, my longtime friend, physical media collector, and independent filmmaker with his brand new short releasing soon, Adagio for Peter, and the recently released August After Hours, a city film, along with Snow on Horseshoe Pond, all available to watch now on the Lunda Street Films YouTube channel. Please welcome to the panel, Robert of Lunda Street Films. Let's try that again. There we go, the credit you deserve.
Should have doubled it up for him on that.
I know, right? Next to the panel is another frequent ticket holder at Hellhound Film Club. She's a creative assistant at Dimes Media, a frequent New England concert and film traveler. Please welcome our dear friend, Jess Cantwell. Making his debut on the panel tonight is a multimedia creative and drummer for such acts as Dead Harrison, Cody Pope and the Keyholders, performing live in Fitchburg May 22nd, Stone Shadows, Dank Sinatra, and Who I Am and Thrax, performing live at Porch Fest in Malden, Massachusetts on May 30th. Please welcome for the first time to the panel, my brother, Axile Bailey.
I should have gave him a boo for first time. Love you, Axile. Right. I love you, brother. You know I do.
I know. We're stoked you're here.
I know. Super stoked.
We've been trying to get Axile on the show since before we started this newest iteration of the show. So it's about time that we dragged you out for this.
He was the original creator of the microphone on projector.
That's true.
That has gotten us through the beginning of this adventure. So he was the OG.
Yeah, you guys don't even know what we did episode 1 of this newest iteration. Wow. Last but not least to the panel, however, is a veteran and animal advocate who wants to get the word out to adopt a guinea pig now. There is an influx of guinea pigs that need love at the Nashua Humane Society. Please give it up and welcome our dear friend, Sami and Claire.
And as always, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We're grateful to have you here for another special installment of the Hellhound Film Club. But before we get too deep, first things first, as always, tonight we are live from the spot in downtown Nashua, New Hampshire.
One of New Hampshire's first dry bars and Gate City's most interesting entertainment lounge, featuring a delicious selection of premium mocktails, kava, coffee, tea, and more.
So check us out here for Hellhound Film Club Live, free movie night and podcast recording on Wednesday nights at 217 Main Street, Nashua, New Hampshire, when tickets get ripped at 7 p.m.
Big thank you to our new sponsor, Mocha Pot Comedy in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Let's just start the show with a little bit of honesty. Really need this to go good.
Use code POPE10 for 10% off tickets.
These are just thoughts of mine. I'm not God, you know. I'm not.
See some of the best stand-up comedians right here in New Hampshire.
Sorry.
Use code POPE10 today for 10% off tickets and to support our show. Huge thank you to Mocha Pot Comedy for sponsoring the program. We're super excited to be partnering with them. You guys are going to see promotions for all their upcoming comedy shows in Manchester, New Hampshire, right here on the program. If you guys go and buy tickets to their shows, use code POPE10, POPE10. That's going to get you 10% off your ticket And that's going to help us support the program and have more than 2 microphones someday.
Someday. We have big hopes and dreams.
And also, exciting reminder, if you guys haven't been keeping up with the show, we're pulling random winners before the end of every episode. One commenter from last week's video is going to receive a prize. We'll reach out to them and they'll have 24 hours to claim it. And then a random attendee from our live recording is going to win a prize as well. Tonight's prize, if you've watched the program before, we have a custom 12 by 18 one-of-one Godzilla 1998 poster designed by yours truly.
I'm going to give up my co-host position so that way I can start getting into these drawings.
All right, I understand. Or if you guys like the posters, we'll just sell them under the table to you guys.
Oh, there we go. There's our new side hustle.
There we go. That's how we can get a 3rd and 4th microphone and a 2nd camera someday. So just think
we're going to sell our one-of-ones that will be now 12 of 12s.
No, there'll be 2 of 2s.
2 of 2s.
One person will win one, and then we'll sell the other one for like...
We'll auction the other one.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, all right. Guys, we're going to start doing a live auction at the end of the episode so we can stretch the episode time a bit.
You can check that out on our next page, Hellhound eBay.
And guys, just as a reminder, sorry, I yanked this cable up here. Just as a reminder, you can come to the events, be entered to win, and you can comment on the video when it comes out and be entered to win again. And you could win 2 different prizes potentially. So all you got to do is the new videos come out every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, unless you're on Patreon and you get them earlier. But they come out every Tuesday at 8 o'clock on YouTube. Go on there, watch it, and drop a comment. That's all you got to do. We're going to see your comment. You're entered to win. Boom, pow, surprise.
And if you're watching this, stay tuned to the end of the episode to find out who our in-person winner is, as well as YouTube comment winner from last week's video.
True. Now, for our conversation tonight, we're discussing...
I thought you were going to do a bomb there because that's what we were discussing.
Oh, that would have been good. Damn it. Tonight, we're discussing the Oscar-nominated, multi-award winning, globally impact changing, the Citizen Kane of our generation. I'm just kidding.
I know.
Seriously though, for our discussion tonight, we're discussing an oft divisive but larger than life adaptation of a beloved Japanese monster kaiju franchise. A film frequently looked back upon under much more examination and some well-due commendation, while also fairly due criticism. Nevertheless, culturally impactful for a number of reasons, and with a growing cult following as the years go on, please join us for our discussion on Godzilla 1998. You see the enthusiasm behind me, it's real. Godzilla was released theatrically in the United States on May 20th, 1998. Godzilla is an American monster film directed by Roland Emmerich, who co-wrote the screenplay with Dean Devlin. So also, I feel like I should note that Roland Emmerich at this time was just coming off of Independence Day.
Huge success, too, with that.
Also, style translation. But so Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin were the team behind Independence Day, so they got brought on to do Godzilla.
I think lead actor helped too.
Godzilla is a reboot of the Toho Company's Godzilla franchise, and this is the 23rd film in the said franchise, being the first Godzilla film, however, to be completely produced by an American studio. The film is dedicated to Tomoyuki Tanaka, the co-creator and producer of various Godzilla films, who sadly passed away in April 1997 during pre-production.
In this film, authorities investigate and battle a giant monster who migrates to New York City to nest its young.
An iguana nest is exposed to the fallout of a military nuclear test in French Polynesia.
Years later, a Japanese vessel in the South Pacific is suddenly attacked by a giant creature with only one fisherman surviving. While confined in a hospital in Tahiti, the traumatized survivor is visited by a mysterious Frenchman who questions him over what he witnessed.
Dr. Nick Totopoulos is researching the effects of radiation on wildlife in the Chernobyl exclusion zone while he is interrupted by an official from the U.S. State Department who has come to pick him up for a special assignment.
Nick is sent to Panama to observe a trail of destruction and footprints left by an unknown creature, and then to Jamaica to examine a damaged ship with a massive claw mark on it.
Nick identifies skin samples he discovered in the shipwreck as belonging to an unknown species. He dismisses the military's theory of the creature being a living dinosaur, instead hypothesizing that it is a mutant created by nuclear testing in French Polynesia, close to where it was last spotted.
The creature travels to New York City, leaving a path of destruction.
The film stars Matthew Broderick, Jean Reno, Maria Patillo, Hank Azaria, Kevin Dunn, Michael Lerner, and Harry Shearer, among many other notable names. In October of 1992, TriStar Pictures announced plans to produce a trilogy of Godzilla films. In May 1993, Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, who would go on to write Aladdin, Shrek, and a lot more, were originally hired to write the script. In July of 1994, Jean DeBont, who directed Die Hard, Speed, Twister, and more, was announced as the director but left the project that December due to budget disputes.
Roland Emmerich, coming off their directing Independence Day, was hired in May of 1996 to direct and co-write a new script with producer Dean Devlin.
Godzilla premiered at Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York on May 18, 1998, and was released in the United States on May 20th. The film received negative reviews from critics, yet grossed $379 million worldwide against a production budget of between $130 and $150 million and marketing costs of $80 million, becoming the third highest grossing film of 1998. I say that, and the reason I say that is because I don't typically like to talk about budgets and profits and stuff like that's not the stuff people are typically interested in when we're talking about movies here. But I say that to say that despite turning a profit, it was still considered a box office disappointment. A lot of that was likely due to the inflated expenses related to the intense and widespread marketing campaign. There really hadn't been many marketing campaigns that had spent that much or had gone to that magnitude at that time. Many fans and people who were old enough to remember at that time note that this film had one of the best marketing campaigns for a film of its nature of all time. The branding, the cross promotions, the frequency, everything was executed so memorably even to this day.
Here, lizard. The film, while disappointing to some in the industry, including even some that worked on the picture, has since gone on to reevaluate for a number of important notes, including that despite having some poor CGI rendering, they created and implemented a ton of wild practical effects, including different parts of Godzilla from different shots, miniatures of cities to be destroyed, and more.
Critics often lambasted the film for how it seemed to stray from the original canon. Yet there are a number of references or perhaps comparisons to a film called The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which is an older film that's said to have been a major influence on the original Godzilla. This also kind of makes sense because director Roland Emmerich had just got done doing what was essentially an adaptation of War of the Worlds with Independence Day.
Many has since noted that if was simply not a Godzilla movie and just a different named kaijin monster, this would have been a much more highly acclaimed feature. This largely explains why this hit so well with younger audience, because their perception of movies and stories were much more of a blank canvas.
Due to the loyalty and the expectation from fans and of the property owners themselves of Godzilla, the creative liberties taken took a long time to be recognized positively in any facet. While doing research for the video, I discovered some super informative YouTube videos that if you're interested in really kind of figuring out where some of our research came, some of the more like deep dive facts, I just thought that I should recommend some of these channels. Brandon Tenold, Studio Empira, and Big Action Bill all had really great breakdown videos of doing Godzilla 1998. So
I'm a big fan of film noir.
oh, is that a channel? Because I was like,
That's a YouTube channel.
I was about to be like, I love film noir, but then
Yeah.
I was like, you sound like you're talking about something.
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel that I watch
Hell
for
yeah.
movies and stuff.
So let's get into it, guys. We got a great panel here. This was a blast. First of all, let me just say that I don't care what the critics said. Even all this time later, I had so much fun watching this again. Nothing changed from when I was like 8 or 9 years old. It just is, I have even more to appreciate now. But let me ask you guys real quick. Was this anybody's first time seeing this just before we get started? No?
Anybody here? No.
Everybody saw this beforehand.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay.
Oh wow. Yep.
That's rare, but it makes sense because.
But I
a
will
gem.
announce. Hold on. I will announce to the community that we did have somebody here that it is their first time seeing it. It's just they're not on the panel, but we did have a first timer, so we do keep the streak going.
Was that Young Universe?
Yep. Gonna come over.
You guys, everybody on the show knows Elliot Universe.
No, I know, but I was just saying he's not on the panel,
I
but
know,
we do have. But we did keep the streak of somebody seeing a new movie for the first.
Now you broke the streak on us.
No, didn't break the streak. You saw the movie for the first time. It doesn't break it.
All of this is going to get cut from the podcast. No one is going to know that happened to us.
Well, now that we know, now that we can edit, so I'll just cut the audio out.
So let's start with Robert. Do you remember? Why was that funny? I didn't even have a punchline.
Let's start with Robert. Yes. I heard it.
Do you remember the last time that you might have watched this?
At least 10 years ago.
Okay, all right. Which honestly, that doesn't seem that long ago for a movie of this nature. You know what I mean? So let me follow that up with how frequently do you find this in your video watching regimen?
When I was a teenager, between 98 and 2005, I'd probably watch it 3 or 4 times a year.
Wow. Okay. So going back to it now after having had some time away from it, how did it make you feel this watch through?
A lot, but I'll just single a couple things out. The 90s action tropes and pre 9/11 New York.
True.
The shoot-in romance, and I know Cody had Cody's head was bobbing every time something happened.
I was getting heated.
They always had to throw in one of those.
I can't wait to roast this
That's a 90s
young person.
You know what?
Yeah.
Spielberg is all over this, man. All right, so not only do we have we're gonna need bigger guns, but you have I should have written this down. The scene on the dock, straight out of Jaws. This movie basically is Jurassic Park, but also some of the chase scenes and the Spielbergian flashlights in the fog. The guy at the beginning who says that he saw Godzilla is pretty much word for word from Truffaut's part in Close Encounters. The dolly zooms that he used a lot, and there's a lot of others that I can't quite remember. I should have written
That's
them down.
I know. I wish you did, because that's pretty interesting. Honestly, I wouldn't have put that together. But as you say it, I'm like, makes perfect sense.
Holy shit! You hit so many points I wanted to bring up on the podcast right there. Holy shit! We just shortened it.
Yeah, I was sorry.
There we go.
Now I don't have nothing to talk about.
Now everybody's getting home on time.
Okay.
The Temu Jurassic Park.
So Jess, you had said to me off camera that you thought you had this on VHS and almost brought it with you and decided to break my heart and tell me that you didn't instead.
I couldn't find it.
But the fact that you own it on VHS tells me that it has been somewhat of a staple in your life. Can you tell me a little bit about the first time you saw it, and do you remember the last time you saw it before tonight?
So I definitely saw it when it was in theaters. I was 9.
Hell yeah.
Yes. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so young. And I remember watching it frequently, not necessarily when it was in theaters, but obviously we owned it. So it was just one of those movies I like rotated through. I don't know how many times a year, but I definitely watched it a lot. Yeah. I was like, I don't know.
Do you remember the last time you watched it before tonight?
15, 20 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
So before you pass the mic off, let me ask you, how did it make you feel watching it tonight after not having seen it for so long? It was like almost, because it's been so long. It was almost like watching it for the first time again. Because it was kind of like a huge refresher, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And it brought me back on how the filming was back then. I was like, oh Right.
yeah, everything's not as clear.
Oh gosh, don't get me start. I have a note on my thing. I literally just wrote lighting with like mad exclamation points because I was like, yo, and it was like in my head, I'm like, who chose this lighting? And then I'm like, oh, I know, everybody behind the budget. Like,
exactly.
Edwards page from Godzilla 2014.
You can say that one more time.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It's just about as dark as Gareth Edwards' Godzilla from 2014.
True
where you
that.
just can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Here you go.
Thanks.
Axel, first time on the panel tonight.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Dude, thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
I'd like to say thank you to both of you for having me on here. And second, I did not know that Godzilla was co-wrote by Matt Groening, because there was so many Simpsons characters being thrown at you all at once that it didn't feel like Godzilla. It felt like an episode for 2.5 hours. I'm like, every time they would like go around something, I'm like, oh no, not there, no, not there.
Right.
You're not saying that in real life. These are like comedic jokes that you got it in the late 90s strictly from Simpsons, Family Guy, and like it's so wonderful to hear Hank Azaria actually like crap his pants when he almost got squished. He's just like, oh! So third of all, I did not know that there was 4,000 to 5,000 boats floating in the air when Godzilla just keeps walking around after every scene. Boat. Oh, another one. Oh, boat.
You just didn't understand New York at that time. You just had to be there.
So many.
I had to call my insurance company to tell them about a deer. Could you imagine calling your insurance company and going, I hit a boat on the 495?
A boat just came down and hit me out of nowhere. Sir, this is not an act of God. We can't cover you.
Be like, it's an act of Godzilla. God's in the
Thank
name.
Does that count?
It's got to count somewhere. God damn it.
Ooh.
Axel, let me ask you.
Don't.
Okay. And that's a wrap on
Hey,
tonight's
we're good.
episode, guys. Thank you.
Good.
Make sure you go buy tickets and give us your money.
We got popcorn.
We did 2.5
I know.
hours last week. We're only going to do 30 minutes this week.
I give these people
Yeah, go
popcorn. This
ahead,
is how they
okay.
treat me. First, let me ask you, when was the last time that you saw this before tonight?
It was probably some random hotel night randomly when I was a teenager, and that was like the second time. This would be my third time seeing it in its full entirety, other than like maybe like waking up and seeing it at 3 a.m. randomly and then going back to sleep. But like the time before that was like when it was in theaters, and the amount of bass that you have here does not even come close to the subs that they had in theaters back then.
Yeah, cool. Shit on me. Shit on my.
No, meaning
We're off
meaning
to
like
a great start here.
when you have like a home like huge theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boo. Where'd that come from? There's a reason why I liked you. But no, the amount of sound effects that were like high quality for back then still ring true now. That like you can hear all the footsteps and all the subtleties of the subs, which created the fear or anxiety. Like even though I already know what's gonna happen, I was still like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So like it's still a timeless, or at least for the time that it had that much high quality. It had that much like studio quality, and everybody like, who knew that George Carlin was going to be there for a split second? Did anybody call that? No, in your bingo card, like when they went back to the house, Hank Azaria's house, right before they cut scene, you can just see George Carlin just sitting there. It's like, how many or Roger Ebert as a mayor?
Yeah. Well,
like what? Like
that one is mad funny because then he even says the thing about Gene. So it's like, it's a Siskel and Ebert thing. That was pretty funny. Axel, before you toss the mic, though, you have a great story about the first time you saw it. Will you tell us about the first time that you saw Godzilla?
That's why I don't tell you anything. That's why I tell you nothing. No,
I put it all on microphones.
My grandmother brought me to this for the premiere, and I was a rambunctious kid with ADHD that was like medicated but not, and I was just getting into like Mystery Science Theater 3000 with my grandmother. If you've never checked it out, please go check it out, and you'll understand where Let's Plays and commenters on YouTube came from. It's exactly the MO for it, where you have like people commenting at the movie that's happening, and they're all like saying their own thing. So I thought that was cool for me to do at like 8, 9, 10 years old. And like halfway through, like my grandmother doesn't believe in like corporal punishment or any type of violence, but she would like slap my knee, like shut the. So like I was really annoying. Like every scene, I'm just like, oh, that's crazy. And I'm thinking I'm funny. And like other people are probably like just like shaking their head and not at the movie at me. So that was so this time watching it, I said nothing. Rest assured.
Oh, Sami, let me ask you, do you remember the first time that you saw this?
Sometimes I think you bring me here, Cody, just because you want that age gap going on, because it was 1998. And I saw it at the Mendon Drive-In Theaters. Boom!
Let's go! Oh, I need an air horn sound effect. I wish I had an air horn. I guess I can give you... That's the close...
And I was married. And it was date night, and it was supposed to be a romantic date night, and hell no, we were at the edge of our seats thoroughly enjoying this movie. And this is only the second time I've seen it since then.
Oh, so, you mean the irredeemable abomination of Audrey wasn't a romantic date night?
She's basically the Jenny. She's basically the Jenny of Forrest Gump.
Jenny.
True that, Jenny.
Oh my gosh. So let me follow up with that then, because that's obvious. That's quite the interesting way to see this for the first time. Do you have a rough idea of if or how many times you've seen this since then?
This is just my second time tonight.
Woo!
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So this was a blast from the past.
Yeah.
Some good memories, some really bad ones because I'm divorced now. But the thing that was interesting was that was when Mendon just brought in their second screen. So it was really cool to be there, and there was another movie going on the other side of the drive-in. But it was just so immense. But we were discussing this earlier. It was so 90s. It was really so 90s.
Perfect encapsulation of the 90s.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you remember what the other movie was? It a double feature?
I can't from the life of me, but when this popped up, I knew this was the reason why we went to the Menden Drive-In that
That's
day. Yeah,
awesome.
because we wanted to see this. Because here, once again, guys, the age gap. I grew up with Creature Double Feature on Saturday, so I saw the original Godzillas, all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, and I had my father. My father was alive at the time, and he was like, what is wrong with my daughter? Because I would like wake up every Saturday all excited to watch Godzilla. You know?
Like, why is my daughter so cool? What is happening here?
Now he's probably looking down going, yeah, that's my girl.
Right?
So, yeah. So we're seeing the original and then I was excited for this one because I had seen all the originals. But I still enjoyed it. Now looking back at it, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's
I'm
Wow.
not saying trash. No, it's 90s. That's what it
Wow.
is. 90s.
trash. That hurts. Damn. I had a good time.
I mean, Bart Simpson was in it. Bart Simpson was in this.
Yeah, you had Hank
Azaria.
Azaria,
Yeah.
Harry Shearer, and Nancy Cartwright.
Well, and what's his face too? I hate to say, guys, the captain there. What's the actor's name there? No. Shoot, he was in Desperate Housewives, and he was in Melrose Place.
Yeah, you're talking about the military captain.
Yeah, the military captain.
Oh my god, I know he's been in so many things. I'm such a dick.
But he was like, he was like such a heartthrob in the 90s with Melrose Place, and then he comes up with this serious, position, which wasn't really serious.
Right?
Yes.
Well, Danny, let me ask you briefly now. Sorry. How did this make you feel? I feel like you feel some way. So, how did this affect you?
So it's funny because you were like, there's only a handful of movies you've ever walked out of. It's only a handful of movies that I've ever walked out and demanded a refund, and this was one of them.
What, like when it came out
in 1998? Yeah, I remember when this came out. I saw this in theater.
Yeah,
it was ironically, it was a date night for me too. Took my date to it first because I wanted something to be able to talk about while we had dinner afterwards, and we proceeded to spend the entire evening trashing the movie.
Damn.
So
now, 20 some odd years later, presumably, how did it make you feel this time around?
Can I get the refund for the gas that I spent to drive down here?
Wow. Wow.
But I get a better gas mileage in this rental. No.
All right. So,
to me, Godzilla was butchered to start with. That's my personal opinion. I think they butchered Godzilla. That is my least favorite Godzilla appearance or look. They butchered the rules of Godzilla. So this one just hurt in certain aspects. Certain subplots of this story I felt weren't needed. I would have personally preferred, and in 2 hours and 19 minutes, to get more than 11 minutes of Godzilla screen time in a Godzilla movie. So, yeah, I'm talking about this one.
Yeah, I mean, tell me how you really feel.
You asked, I'm going to tell you.
I know.
You know I don't hold back. I tell you the truth of how I feel.
We're taking it in.
Take it in. But that's just how I feel.
Well, so I'm gonna
just to be fair, this feels like it could have been a Jurassic Park film, and then they just rewrote it for Godzilla. So I agree with Danny.
So here's the thing. I literally wrote the same thing. I don't disagree. If this had just been a kaiju movie under any other name, people would have ate it up. It would have been remarkable. But it's because of the expectation and the loyalty of the Godzilla franchise that putting the title on it, there was a certain predilection of what was going to come. However, I think with the wherewithal of that, it's a pretty fun movie. Not perfect, not great,
not even close to all right. Let's go! Let's go! What's up?
I love that. It's like,
Go ahead, hate on me if you want to, but you love it right now, bro.
no,
'cause-
I love it. I'm just wondering if I'm like, do the people that watch our show even know that I like?
But they're gonna go look it up to find out.
Right?
You can thank me for the subs later.
When I
can cut that in later.
You guys just thought I wore my name on my hat because I liked podcasting so much, but I'm always trying to sell myself. So you can go listen to my music too.
And don't worry, I'm trying to sell them all the time too. So
all right, so this next question I have, I'm going to skip you on this next question I have, and you'll understand why, but I'm going to circle back to you. Robert, do you want to take this next question I have?
Oh, I don't even get to bring into my Jurassic rant.
So the first question I have is pros. What stands out to you the most?
I don't know. Can I think about this one? Can I think about this one and you can circle back to me?
Oh, the circling back shit. All right. Sammy, I know you got me, player. What would you say? Pro, positive. What is the positive thing that stuck out to you the most?
All right. I know we talked about being dark. However, I just thought it was entertaining because it was just constant movement. And you just still kind of did. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw me. I was doing this, watching it, going, okay, ooh, yeah, I forgot about that. Ooh, yeah, and that I think was the pros. The pros that it really just kept your attention because of movement and and they always had a Godzilla popping its face out.
I love that. Axile, same question. Pros, what was the thing that stuck out to you the most?
I mean, as a general thing, obviously it's not a Godzilla movie, and I think, to be fair with myself, this was my first introduction to Godzilla. I was a lot late to this train, and I did go back and Mothra and all that stuff. But for me, the pro about it was to me exciting to see something that's larger than life. No matter the 11 minutes that the Godzilla got, every single second was just in awe of, like, it was stupid too. Like those Apaches were like trying to, I think we got it. That's another part I'm going to say as a pro with this is, like, the 90s tropes were so obvious that every time something happened, I'm like, ha. And like, I think we got him, sir. Let's get out of here. Man, I think I got away from him, sir. I'm good. It's like they did those things on purpose because it was like a comedy. It was an action film disguised as comedy. Because, like, there's so many, like, well, that's kind of stupid. We say it now, like, well, no one says that. Who would say that? And it becomes its own like comedy bit. So, like, for me, I like the fuse of excitement and, like, I can't take it seriously. And I think that was the main idea, because there's no way you could take that seriously. That whole movie you can't take seriously at all. Like, even when you're like, oh man, I'm scared. And then Broderick would be like, no, man, we got to go somewhere. Oh, this door is locked. Oh, no. Oh, what do we? Oh, this isn't good. He was cornered. Over here. And he's like, oh, this isn't good. No, you're not saying that. You're, like, grabbing your pants. You're running at anything. He's like, oh dear. Let me throw down some gumballs. And he, like, watched them fumble, and he's like, and you laughed. Everybody, no matter who, in the back of your head, you're like, you're watching them scurry, like.
It was classic Broderick. That's all I can say, because that's just who he is, and everything he does, and whether it's on Broadway or any of his movies, he's just classic Matthew Broderick with those kind of things. And you can't help but laugh with his deadpan. I mean, it's hysterical.
In an action film, you're conflicted. There's my pro, I guess. It's a duel.
Jess, what about you? What's a positive takeaway that you took from this?
I actually agree with Axile. It was just the added comedy to the action movie. And just watching it this time, from the long time that I have seen it, I picked up on little things that I was just like, how did I not think that was hilarious at 12 or 9 or however old I was when I watched it. Like, example, when the guy's like walking through the tunnel, he's like, I don't see anything here, it's a dead end, and then Godzilla moves and you're like, that thing is making a lot of noise. Like, how are you not hearing that?
That's subtle. You can't be that subtle.
And he's just still walking away. I'm like, okay, there's no way that you didn't hear that. Yeah. So it was just having the whole 90s typical movie back then, scenes and funny little niches there.
We need bigger guns.
Yeah, we're gonna need bigger guns. You're just like, yeah, that's okay. There's that little twist.
Godzilla's coming at them, and they're like, "What do we do?" And then John Reno's character is like, "Run!"
Yes.
Run.
All right, Robert.
Okay.
The lassos come back your way.
All right. I don't have that much fun at the movies anymore. Wait, okay. What I mean is,
It's not really a good way to start a pro.
okay, okay.
I know, right?
All right.
I hate movies.
Welcome to Hellhound
All
Film
right.
Club. I don't really have a good time at movies.
Okay. I think the most gripping part of the film is whether or not Jean Reno was going to get the cup of coffee that he really wanted.
Yes.
All right. But continuing the other thought, I'm comparing them to films like Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Godzilla and Kong. Somehow they are maybe objectively better films. Maybe the scripts are just about as bad. I don't know. But it's something about the 90s films that I love. The year before this was Volcano and Dante's Peak. That year was Armageddon. We had
Peak.
Deep
Let's go.
Impact. Speed 2. I like Speed 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Speedier.
Love the practical effects. The destruction of the city. How the army did more damage to the city than
Oh my
the,
god, for
the
real,
lizard.
dude. I had that same thing. I think one of my notes was literally like assessment of property damage. Because it's literally the government destroys more lives, kills more people, and destroys more public property than Zilla did at any point.
And they broke the fourth wall by saying that in the movie.
I know, for real. And it pisses you off because you know it the whole time, and then Ebert says it, and you're like, we already said that.
Well, the line that got me was the that army captain who said after the whole debacle with the fish, the first city attack, he said, he did all this to the city and we did nothing to him.
Right? We did nothing to him. What? Where were you the last 2 hours and 19 minutes, brother?
We fed him.
All right, Danny, I can see the teapot is fucking brewing. So my next question, pick one. What is the con that stands out to you the most?
Maybe Danny has a positive.
Yeah, and I have a wad of $100 bills in my pocket too.
You better have those $100 bills in your pocket because I had a positive.
Aw, see?
All right, let's get some sunshine in. Tell me what you did enjoy about this.
Best
feature.
part of the whole entire movie, what I enjoyed the most, was when Jimmy Page started playing.
Oh my god. You guys really set him up for that? What a goober. Now we're gonna lose our comedy sponsorship because of that. Way to go.
Well, I'm crushing the comedy tonight, bro. Yo, don't forget, go get your tickets.
Now I
Use the code.
Now I remember why I like British comedy.
And I don't.
Up next, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. All right. Fucking now you got your joke out. What's the thing that what's the thing that pissed you off the most about this movie? What's the thing that brings you to call it trash?
The amount of times that they absolutely jacked Jurassic Park. We'll start with the footprint in the ground. Then we'll go to when he's going to go get the fish. Godzilla stands in the middle, throws his hands up and screams just like the T-Rex.
But you enjoyed Jurassic Park though, right?
Absolutely loved it.
Okay. So what is it that upset you about this utilizing those same kind of tropes?
Because they made it look like trash. The baby Godzillas, I'll tell you right now, dead ringers for horrible looking raptors.
That's interesting.
The same movement, the same actions. When they got too close to one another, they would snip at each other, just like the rappers would do in the
Just so you don't think I'm
Jurassic Park.
bullshitting, creature design was one of the things that I really thought was cool, where like I agree with you that like that's not what Godzilla is supposed to look like. You know, it's not the size, it's not the stature, it's not even the right fucking creature. I take that, right? Like I'm with you on that. There's no disagreement there. But going back to that point that I was saying earlier, that like if this was any other just like kaiju movie off the blockbuster shelf, that creature design I thought was really cool, especially for that time. And some of this, like we all acknowledge that some of the CGI was kind of shoddy, but some of it was really, really dope. And there'd be these close-ups of the face like coming through, and like there, I don't know, to me that I just was like really like, I thought there was a lot of articulation and stuff that was like very noticeable for a time where it felt like that would have been a lot more difficult unless you had Jurassic Park or Godzilla money, I guess. Well, that was my thing, is Jurassic Park came out 4 years prior to this, which means the CGI, the technology, and all that was already available. It was 4 years prior available, which means I would have felt that they could have had access to better. But that comes at a cost.
$150 million is a lot of money.
But think about how much time it took to even get it off the ground. You know what I mean? They got the license in 92 and didn't start pre-production until like 97.
And they've been trying since 1982 to get the rights to it. And they got 10 years of no's. And it took them to finally go to the head executive of Sony to get the approval. Well, all I'm saying is you had the head executive of Sony pushing for this. So I would like to think that money wouldn't have been the issue, because if you would have done this right, money wouldn't have been an issue. I think you could have done much better, but
okay.
It's just, to me, the CGI was so bad in this.
So the visuals laughable. Were the thing that pissed you off the most.
Yeah, it was just laughable.
Okay.
And then, to be honest with you, if I look at it and you look at,
you can lie to me. It's okay. At this point, my heart's broken enough.
Oh, okay, good. But it's ironic because if you look at the Godzilla in this, to me, it almost looks like the pre-version of the Indominus Rex in the later Jurassic Parks.
Okay. Well,
now that I look at it, like it reminds me of like it was, and I think it was the 2000 Godzilla that the original Godzilla like kills this Godzilla.
King of Monsters.
King of Monsters, yeah.
They call this one Zilla and like smash him into a building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they took the God out of it.
Yeah. So let's keep this exciting part of the fucking show going. Robert, what is the thing that stood out to you the most that you disagreed with in the film?
Well, I think at the end, the only thing more offensive than the sequel baiting at the end was being left with Diddy.
Yeah,
that's like the last.
And if I thought that was the best part,
I would have probably taken a sequel.
Time out. In 1998, I don't give a fuck. In 1998, you guys were all rocking Puff Daddy and the Family. I don't give a shit.
I was.
Everybody that was listening to popular American music was listening to Puff Daddy.
You can't be a bad boy for life.
Exactly.
Look,
you want to look.
I want to cut it over because I wanted to keep the music.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to hear the music.
Yeah.
Now, that was the joke. I think it's the script, I guess.
I could understand that. I had a similar note to that. It wasn't the script, but it was the pacing. The pacing really pissed me off.
The last hour felt really like it dragged on, even though they had some great set pieces. I mean, the Madison Square Garden, that whole thing was just absolutely wonderful, and the visuals, and what stood out, that scene when they tried to portray a connection between Broderick and and Godzilla at that moment. And then it happens at the end as well. How did if the Godzilla knows that if Godzilla knows that these are the folks that demolished everyone, then how do they know they're in the how do they know that they're in the taxi?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just one more thing.
One more thing I hated.
The French Secret Service subplot didn't make any sense, because if he was over here trying to cover up whatever the French did during those the
Polynesian.
May I interject?
What exactly is he trying?
May I interject? So, my understanding is that part of the reason why they wrote this French subplot in is because in real life, France waited until 2 years before the movie came out to stop actual nuclear testing. The rest of the entire world committee had all started to fall back on doing unnecessary nuclear testing, and France had stopped literally 2 years before. So it was just the perfect thing to write into a movie. That's think about it, dude. At that time, the first American Godzilla movie that's an entirely American production, you're certainly not going to have the Japanese be your opposition because they created the property you're using. So why not take somebody that the entire world stage is given the side eye to? And I think that was just an easy little thing for them to be yeah, America. It wasn't our fault. The goddamn French did it.
Well, it's just
Weren't you hating the French then too? Wasn't there
That's what I mean.
on?
That's what I mean is it all kind of fit into place.
Point, we all hated the French for some reason.
Don't say we all.
It's just
I have a Breathless poster on the wall of my house. Okay, I love France.
Well, was just saying there was some
Yeah, Robert, nothing on that.
Yeah,
I was hoping
I don't want to interrupt.
I was hoping you were going to give me some laughs on that shit.
I'm just glad that Leon graduated from Hitman to Secret Service. That's all.
Amen. Holy shit. All right, Jess, what was the thing that bothered you the most about this?
I don't know. I really like this movie.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no.
That's totally acceptable.
Yeah. Apparently not. Where I actually have to find a ride home. Does anyone out there? I will be still sitting here.
The Godzilla fan club would be happy to we'll all get in a van and talk about how great this is and drop you off.
Really, that car runs on hopes and dreams.
No, it runs on 2 podcasts a week and a record label, baby. Let's go.
That's right. But no, I actually
runs on a custom-made poster that somebody besides Danny is going to win tonight.
That is true.
You can't even have a poster in a movie you don't enjoy.
True that. Good point. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. When we were off air, this guy that I co-host these shows with was like, dude, I wish I had one of these posters. This is sick. And now he's out here saying the movie's trash. I don't know how to feel right now. I'm so torn.
Nothing wrong with me wanting to commemorate our experience and the thing that we do together and the love and passion that we have for
listen
something.
to this guy.
Nothing wrong with me wanting to commemorate those episodes.
He's something else.
Anyways,
So
I
go
enjoy
with
this
that.
movie, so I don't have any cons. So next.
All right. Hey, that's cool. I'll dig that.
Cody,
I know you do. Let
Cody.
it rip, big dog.
you already know what I'm gonna probably say because again, I don't really find any cons about it, even though it is trash, it's good trash. It's like a nice delectable
Yeah.
cake at the end of the night, like midnight fucking cake sesh. Cool. That's how I view it. It's like a guilty pleasure.
I mean, honestly, is it not
However,
Taco Bell?
however, that woman reporter is the most trashiest of trash women. I repeat, the trashiest of trash women. However valid that she did get dunked on by that creepoid of her boss. That was really messed up. That was horrible. From then on, she was just. I know.
I literally wrote irredeemable Audrey. That's how much. That's how much.
Is
I
that her
hated
name?
her. Yeah.
Not Audrey, irredeemable Audrey. That should be her
Irredeemable
name.
Audrey.
That was. She took
no
every
coming back.
wrong turn that she could. Was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I stole your tape and got put it out on in the airwaves, and yes, she could have done anything else to be less than Jenny from Forrest Gump, and she decided to fumble so hard that she literally fell from the ceiling, and Broderick's character was like, oh, you're here. Oh.
literally,
When Broderick doesn't care.
They're having like a heroic moment, and then it's like, these
you're-
shitheads.
why are I guess I'll pick you up. Like he was just so hesitant because like she was the most trashiest character they could put in, and yet somehow those two were the ones that needed to be redeemed out of the whole entire movie. Not the U.S. military and their shoddy heat-seeking missiles. Stop using the heat-seeking missiles. Keeps using missiles.
There's no redeeming the U.S. military in that movie. They must have killed hundreds, if not thousands, of people and destroyed housing that won't be replaced for probably decades to come. It was like worse devastation than any.
The Chrysler building out.
Exactly.
They're like, oops.
He had to jump in the water to get murked, and even
real.
then he murked basically all of the submarines that were in the water at the time.
Yeah.
And he didn't even get touched until he got to the bridge. I'm not going to count like him getting knocked out. Godzilla fainted when he's in Pokemon. That's all he did was like you see him like float down to the bottom of the sea. He's just taking a nap. He's like, okay,
You're just waiting to get a sensu bean.
yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Thank you.
We watching Triamite next week.
But like,
And then he came back all Broly like.
and even then, he dodged every single bullet, missile, everything, and they kept no, I think he's going to go here. The infrastructure was way less than he actually was running around.
Neo was the reincarnation of Godzilla.
Oh yeah, when he's running through and it's like Neo, you do
Dodging
know
all the missiles and shit.
all of Manhattan is now destroyed because of you.
Holy shit.
He's like, no, I have to save Trinity. And to further this, that the point I want to like really make home with this is it's not a Godzilla movie. It's because it's a Godzilla name. One case and an example: Resident Evil. The game versus the movie are two completely different things, and just because you put a name on it, it's sold heavy. I hated it because it had nothing to do with anything of the video game. Yeah, Jill's in there randomly. Okay. Oh yeah. Now Chris Redfield's in a random box and they just found him.
But they show Umbrella.
It was a sham, but it had a good soundtrack. I'll give it that. But
I'm sorry, Elliot. Are we boring you?
or like Black Ops, like anything Call of Duty, you can put a name on it and like, oh man, Call of Duty shoot a man. I got to do this. $500, yes sir. With the Godzilla movie, they just put a stamp on it and didn't call it what it should have been, was the kaiju and all that. That if it did anything else besides that, it would have been a huge hit. But because of the fan base and because of how strict it is, that I wouldn't say make a sham of it, but they made a comedy out of a Godzilla, and it's like I accept it. Not as a Godzilla movie, but I accept it as like some type of reptilian Jurassic Park-esque thing because it's basically Jurassic damn Park. even to finding the eggs, it's the same kind of forte that they had to like from going to a cave and find. Oh my God, they're laying, and like no shit, Sherlock, they're laying eggs because they're reptiles, they're mammals. Oh, now they're asexual. That's another con. Is how in the it's not a male. It's now pregnant. Like, great, now we have that. 200 is going to turn into 400 or 40,000 overnight. We better do this. Kill us now. Now back to you, Tom. It's like, what the. That live broadcast was like what they needed, but they still should have kept it going. Like, no, let's keep it rolling until they shut us down, because that would have definitely made it with like all the shooting and him grappling down. Like, I suggest you come with me. As there's like 50 coming through the room, they're like, I guess so. I'm like, no, you're just gonna jump.
And I love how they're all repelling experts all of a sudden.
Now everybody knows how to do it in a split second. Passing.
I don't know how to follow up with that one, guys. But my whole thing is obviously being a fan of the original Godzillas on Creature Double Feature and seeing them all, over and over again. Way back in the 90s, I enjoyed it because unfortunately that was the recipe for movies in the 90s. The freaking love stories in those movies back in the 90s. Why?
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, the creepiness of him having pictures of her after all those years. Why?
Right? Like, if you simping for a girl 8 years later after she disappeared on you, that's the one thing I'll agree with you on useless subplot. You could have cut that plot out and the movie would have still gone on. Like, I don't disagree.
I mean, the fact that they maybe reunited after all these years because they went two different directions, that's fine. That's great. Okay, whatever. But the love part, and I'm sorry, after you being chased by Godzilla and, almost trampled on and stuff, I'm not going to take time to kiss you. I'm sorry. And all due respect, I'd probably have shit myself at this point. So, but now I'm thinking back, seeing it in the 90s, I didn't mind it because that was the recipe for movies. But now looking at it all these years later, only my second time, ew, come on,
Another con. The rain.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. The rain and the lighting was like one of my least favorite elements of this. So
many.
And it's like, and I feel like they kind of chose to do that to kind of cover up how like shoddy the CGI was bound to be. So it's like, I get it, but I agree with you that it was definitely, it made it harder to enjoy for sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to like throw it in Premiere and like put a filter on it or something so I could see better.
The rain was just like, that was another aspect of the movie that I just felt like was like a little unrealistic. The amount of rain in New York City.
It's a dramatic device for action films, though.
Yeah, I know. But it was just like, I don't know. It was a little
Gives
too
you
much for
something to
me.
blame it on.
Yeah. Hey, blame it on the rain.
Thank you. I was waiting for that. Would have accepted you singing it as well.
Oh, yeah, it was real rain. No. I meant like non CGI rain.
Yes.
Like that was they had the sprinklers.
Yeah, the rain machine.
The rain machines.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see real
They
water.
they actually had to wear wetsuits underneath their regular clothing for this movie because that's how much rain they used during it.
Oh wow.
And Matthew Broderick was the only one that didn't realize that the suit was designed to be worn with the front. So he wore his in the back and he didn't know. And Hank Azaria had to show him.
Should have been in the movie.
Because he was complaining about how hard it was for him to go to the bathroom. And Hank's like, what do you mean?
There we go. Add more comedy.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
shout out to our podcast researching.
I know, right? Well, I don't really know what to say. This took a wild turn, but glad everybody felt so strongly about it one way or another. I will just say that it's worth mentioning. Not only was this like a $130 to $150 production movie, but they also spent an additional $80 million on marketing. And some of the stuff that they did on the marketing was so wild and so interesting. And I don't think you can really look back and like not like if you were like alive in that time, the marketing was everywhere and they were doing unique stuff. Like Robert and I were talking off camera, whoever gets the poster will see it. They were taking public city buses and it would just say, this is how big his foot is, and then have like the Godzilla thing, and the whole bus would be painted green, and like they had all sorts of shit like that was just like unbelievable, that I look back on now and I'm like, if I saw that for a movie today, I would think that was cool.
By 98, we had the model of Jurassic Park in 1993, where they had lunch boxes and action
Jeep
figures. So, and then the year before this was the special editions of Star Wars, which means more merchandise. So the merchandise market was there. And you and I were actually discussing the trailers.
Yeah.
And could you tell me about your favorite trailer on this one?
So when the movie was coming out, to promote it, they would do these teaser trailers before bigger movies. So like one was Men in Black. The other one, I had to write it down, Starship Troopers. And it got to, there was 3 different teaser trailers, and it got to a point where people were going to these movies just to see the trailer. And so the one that was my favorite, there's a scene where the fishermen are on the dock and the old guy goes out by. That was one of the teaser trailers. So you would go in the theater and you would just see the guy going out to the fishing dock, and then that whole thing come back his way, and then it would just cut real quick to like the credits and stuff. But like the first time I saw that was just like, woo, okay. Like it felt like a roller coaster. It was like, this is crazy. Like you can't run fast enough to beat this thing. Like that was just, that was the one that stuck out to me the most.
A feature of teaser trailers back then, other than the voice of God narrator, they would actually start trailers with a scene from the film, and then just continuing on with the trailer, which is not something we see anymore. I think it starts off right with that piano ting.
Yeah, that's true. Another thing that was crazy about the marketing for this too, they basically prevented you from ever seeing what Godzilla was going to look like until the movie came out. They didn't even release the toys, and that was like a huge issue because you usually sell toys ahead of the movie coming out, and there was like a contractual thing that they couldn't. And like when you go back and think about it, you're like, dude, everything was black with green text of some sort of thing that correlated to what was coming your way. And it's like, when you spend that much money on a movie and all you do is use words, like that's pretty powerful marketing right there.
So touch a few points there. Marketing costs were so high because they did 0 screen testing for this, none whatsoever. Executives later said that was a mistake. And then as for keeping it a secret, there was actually a major company that lost their licensing to this movie because they were trying to keep Godzilla such a secret that they sent out different rendering drawings to each company, and a company released their rendering drawing. And because they were the only company with that rendering, they actually lost all their licensing to the Godzilla franchise, to the Godzilla movie. So, but yeah, they didn't screen test, so they dropped a lot of money to get a lot of interest built up very quickly on this.
Yeah.
And like you were talking, I mean, they have the Taco Bell commercials that was a part of this whole.
I love those.
I know, they really were.
There's a.
Oh, shout out to the Taco Bell dog.
Shout out to the Taco Bell
Yeah,
dog.
true that.
I don't know if we can bring that up.
At least there-
it could get us canceled.
At least there's one character that everybody liked. All right. Well, this has been quite the roller coaster of a conversation. Let's do our closing ceremonies, and I guess I'll let you set it off. Let's get your letterbox rating out there.
That would be generous, but I'll give it a 1 star.
Wow. Okay. That's fine. Keep it going.
He's like, I'm not even gonna
One star is audacious.
I could have given it a 0
You could have.
or half,
The-
quarter.
Is that it? Give him the mic back for
1
a second.
point of the star.
Give it your rating. What would you give it? You give it
1
a
star.
0?
No, 1 star for real. That's what I'm giving it.
Okay.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I was like, don't pity our podcast. If it's a 0, it's a 0.
No.
You just got to live with that.
No, you were just saying it's audacious. I could have given it a 1 point of a star, not even a half of a. What's that? A fifth of a star? I could have given it a worse rating, but no, it's a 1 star.
But I guess that's where I'm confused. You could have given it a worse rating.
I'm just saying I could have, but I'm not going to because that's not my rating.
Okay. All right.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You just like you doing a little word salad there. Had me messed up for a second.
well, that's what happens when you get sober.
I don't know which one of us did that.
That's right. We didn't have our safety meeting before our podcast.
We've had Orson Welles, we've had 2 Kurosawas in these film clubs, and this whole week I haven't been this stoked to see a film in this film club because this is my childhood, and
Yeah,
I am
that's how I
completely
feel.
biased. And if I
Nostalgia bias is fair.
had to give it, it's hard to see its faults unless you're really critical about it, because it's the same thing with Hook. It's the same thing, with any, there might be problems with it, but you don't see it because the nostalgia aspect. So I would give it 4 out of 5 stars
All right.
because that's my childhood.
Hey, I'm with it, man. I love it. We got a 1 and a 4.
I'm in the same boat. It's my childhood. I remember seeing it in theaters. I remember watching it quite frequently when it first came out on VHS, and I owned it. And but I will say, there's a lot to the plot that I feel like could just not be in there. It's a lot of filler, unnecessary. I was actually shocked before we started the movie that you mentioned that it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that, and I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, holy cow, why is it so long?
You could
for a
have trimmed
movie
like
back then.
45 minutes out
Right,
of it.
right. So I was like, wow, why is this so long? And so I would give it a 3.5.
Okay. All right. We got 1, 4, and a 3.5.
As well as this was and is my childhood as well. Seeing it in theaters and seeing it firsthand, it's kind of hard to not, as you said, to see the faults in it. It's the same. I'm gonna do this dual. It's gonna have 2. I give it the same vibe as episode 1 when it first came out. That people thought it was trash, and I look back on it now, and is it bad? Yes. But does it take away from the plot? No. There's a lot of intricacies there that got looked over because of the young Padme and the whole Anakin up thing, and like there was a lot of like adolescence in there that didn't make sense yet because you're seeing a pre story, and people still to this day are like, oh, they don't like the first. They disregard episode 1. They go to 2 and 3. It's not good, but it's far from the worst. Human Centipede. Yeah, take that one. There you go. So childhood, it gets a 4 out of 5. Childhood, it gets a 4 out of 5 for what it is. And for a Godzilla movie, though, it is definitely a 1 star. It does not portray nearly what every single other movie has done, is like inflict terror of this person destroying a whole entire city, where the military did more damage than the actual Godzilla did. It just didn't make any sense. There was too many romances for no reason, too many subplots for 0 reason. So like, yeah, as a Godzilla movie, it falls wicked flat. But as an action movie, it's really good. It's like a 4 out of 5.
Man, just for a moment. The dual rating, I completely agree with you, and so that would probably be like a 2-star thing. But you're mentioning, and I know this is the end of the episode, unfortunately, but you're mentioning of episode 1 is and not appreciating something at the time, and feeling like in a way, we've almost lost certain things. I mean, there were silly things about the 90s movies, but there were also things that we don't have anymore. And I don't think in 1999 to 2005 that we would look at the prequel trilogy and actually look at, and think, Attack of the Clones actually is pretty good, but I think that's also part of the nostalgia factor. Yeah. So that's all I had to say about that.
Oh, that's a valid though, for sure.
Well, you guys talk about your childhood. I was in my early 20s. And I have to tell you, when I first saw it, I really, really enjoyed it. I would have given it like a 4.5, if not a 5. I really, really enjoyed it. And I was looking forward to seeing it tonight. I was waiting all week. I couldn't wait. I was just like, oh, I haven't seen this, since 1998. I was like, by the end of it, I was like, why? I just sat in my chair going, why? And so I hate to say it, and I'm sorry, Cody, I love you, dear, but I'm giving it like a 3, and that's good.
Hey, that's reasonable.
Yeah, that's a good.
I will say too, I did have a conversation with Robert like a month ago, and I said that this is the one I was worried about.
Yeah.
And me and Robert, both being nostalgia drunk, we're like, nah, we're gonna fucking do it. Fuck that. And so, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care.
Mean, it was fun to see because obviously Broderick's always funny. I mean, he's just fun to see.
Yeah.
Michael Lerner, I mean, he's a character actor, so he's fantastic, and so, I mean, I still give it a 3, but back in 1998, I walked out, out of the drive-in going, oh, this is like the best movie I've ever seen. And tonight I was like, no, not so much. Sorry, hun.
Welcome to my world. Welcome to my side.
Is he wearing off on me?
Welcome to my
Right, yeah.
side.
He has a habit of doing that.
Getting his pessimist bullshit.
No, let's go
In
back
your
to Monty
Cavo.
Python.
Yeah, let's rewatch that and see how you feel after hanging out with
No,
me.
I watched Monty Python.
What about Life of Brian, though? Maybe Life of Brian?
Life of Brian's coming to the Criterion Collection.
4K?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Always look on Brian.
So you know what? I'm gonna speak my piece here for a second. I've listened to a lot of fucking nonsense tonight.
Listen
I
to
got
a lot
some-
of
I got
facts
s-
tonight.
I got some pros and some cons. All right, let me just lay it out like this. The pacing of the movie sucked. I'll take that. A, it didn't need to be 2 hours and 20 minutes. B, they got you to the best point of the movie and it should have been done. And then they sat you through another like 30 plus minutes of bullshit and then gave you an ending that should have been.
Trash.
No, the ending was like, yeah. The ending wasn't great, but it felt like an ending for a movie like that. And if you had just like taken that stuff and put it at like the hour 20 mark, this would have been even better, right? So I'm just taking that for what it is. I enjoyed the movie. I had a blast watching it, but I don't negate that there are some pacing issues. I brought up the nuclear testing thing. I obviously wouldn't have known that as a child, but finding that out in my adult life, I think that's pretty interesting. And let's be honest, like the Japanese Godzilla movies from the very first one always had something to speak about. Despite the fact that they were like monster movies and kaiju movies and stuff, they were really created out of a fear of what was happening globally in war and politics and nuclear explosions and all this kind of stuff. And so there is a great sense of integrity to the original Toho Godzilla movies. I don't disregard that whatsoever, right? This didn't have that for me. This was a popcorn movie, but I did see glimpses of where somebody fucking tried. And that was one of those things that was like, that's how they made this uniquely their own. That was the closest thing they could come up with to a global political issue that would resonate with people in America. And did it land? Hard to say. But I thought that it was good. It was a good like implementation for what they did. We talked about the CGI and the practical. Some of the CGI was shoddy. Yes. Lighting sucked. But the CGI that was good, in my opinion. there were some scenes where you, like I said before, you see the head pop through or see its face or the foot. The detail on the foot when the foot drops down is just like, it's gorgeous artistically. The way that you can see the insane detail on the scales and stuff. There's just so much that went into that character design that I think was really, really, maybe, I don't know, I can't say well done because that's subjective, but I think was very technically advanced for the time. I think the character design was very technically advanced for the time. The self-death toll, I don't even think we talked about the fact that America killed more Americans in this movie than Godzilla did. There was more property damage, more destruction, more death, and it doesn't even get mentioned. So you know what? You want to be upset about that? I'm okay with that.
He's only on screen for 11 minutes. He couldn't do that much damage.
I didn't time it out. That's the thing, is the thought didn't even cross my mind of how much screen time Godzilla has. He's always the looming presence. And so, like, even when he's not on screen, there's no question of why we're here. You know what I mean?
Godzilla pulled a Hannibal Lecter.
Ooh,
where
okay.
Anthony Hopkins has what is it? I don't know how many, like 13 minutes screen time, and he owns the film. Godzilla 11 minutes.
Yeah,
that's incredible because it felt I'd say 30 minutes. I don't know, man.
I feel like I feel like we might have just watched a movie very recently where the character that everybody cares about the most is only at the end of the movie for 15 minutes. And I think everybody loved it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
Because everything else around it was good.
No, it's not. Taste is discernible. I know I have great taste. We wouldn't be 20 episodes deep in this program if I didn't have great taste. All right. You can't beat me. You can't stomp me out. You can't hatch a shell on me and take me out like that. There's no Madison Square Garden that's going to take me out.
Taste is subjective.
True, unless it's proven.
Well, you know. Well, that's no difference. I'm not conceited. I'm just convinced.
I'm not cocky. I'm confident. If you tell me I'm the best, it's a compliment.
Love it.
Shout out to either Jada Kiss or Styles P, who I stole that from. Or somebody in the comments will roast me and tell me who it really was.
This will be your time to roast him for getting it wrong if he did.
Yeah, if I did.
Don't worry, you guys do it enough to me. I'm used to it.
Yeah. I'm gonna just go out there and say the elevator scene with Matthew Broderick at the garden. Yo, I knew what was gonna happen, and it still had me do the fucking like I just like I was. It was like I like felt myself breathe, being like, oh, is he gonna fucking pop through the door or what? And then, but then the foot thing did.
Then the 1 foot push out
that did immediately deplete it. But to have that feeling was so good, though. Like to get that moment, even if it was just a moment, to have that moment of like, oh, it was like, oh, this is what movies are about. Let's go.
And then it's followed by the wrong floor part, which is just absolutely hilarious. And he says, "Wrong floor." The popcorn bag drops from the and the door closes. It's just,
and because it was made in '98, I don't even hate that. I love it. Love it. If you do it now, I might be upset, but then love it. And then we already talked about it, but the last thing I had on here was just the fact that you had 3 different Simpsons characters in this movie. That was pretty funny.
And how much you love the woman.
Yeah. And did I mention this movie's incredible?
Oscar winning.
So you're
what was it nominated for?
Multi-nominated.
I don't think it really was. I was just
nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I was just
Razzies.
I'm pretty sure it was nominated on Rotten Tomatoes as 98's worst.
Had the nastiest soundtrack ever.
That's right.
The soundtrack though made money. That did real well.
The movie made money. Everybody just hated it.
It made money, but not like Hollywood numbers. So
How
like,
much did that album make? Because that was
Oh my god, that went on for a long time.
Covering a David Bowie song.
Yeah.
And that was like one of their
flagship songs for that movie.
Yeah, hopefully you guys just heard that.
If not, it's okay.
If not, that's our podcast for you. All right, so we get everybody's letterboxed ratings? All right, hell yeah. So as always, so yeah, oh that's right. And I was just popping off. So you guys will get my full letterboxed review on this next week when the episode comes out. I'm gonna go really in depth, in detail about how I felt about this, because this was quite the roller coaster for me. But before we talk about Letterboxd, I did pull up another old random review to give you guys for a movie that I think is worth checking out. So my movie of the week this week is called Searching for Mr. Rugoff. It came out in 2019 and is directed by Jim McBride. Actually, I think that's incorrect. I think I might have left that from last week. Don't listen to that. But the movie that I picked was Searching for Mr. Rugoff, which is in 2019. It's a documentary. That's why I knew it wasn't him. This feature documentary, Searching for Mr. Rugoff, is the story of Donald Rugoff, who is the crazy genius behind Cinema 5, the mid-century theater chain and film distribution company. Rugoff was a difficult, some would say impossible person, but was also the man who kicked art films into the mainstream with outrageous marketing schemes and pure bluster. Rugoff's impact on cinema culture in the United States is inestimable, and his influence on the art film business from the studio classics division to the independent film movement and more is all undeniable. Yet mysteriously, Rugoff has become a virtually forgotten figure. The story is told through the eyes of a former employee, Ira Deutschman, who sets out to find the truth about the man who had such a major impact on his life and to understand how such an important figure could have disappeared so completely. And honestly, this was super inspiring, and it kept being intriguing the whole time. I just felt like I was on a journey into the mind of this like brilliantly unique but challenged individual. Seeing how Cinema 1 and Cinema 2 and all the theaters that had followed had such an intimate and thoughtful way of connecting audiences to the movies and creating new ways of marketing the movies to people was just unbeknownst to me prior to this. Even the buildings that the movie theaters were in were works of art. It's so sad to not have many of these institutions in the same capacity any longer. This film is such an inspiration to continue showing high appreciation to the arts and to challenge the norms of how we consume and deliver art. This was a 4 out of 5 stars for me. If you're into the movie review portion of what we do, if you want to read more in-depth reviews of movies, not only do I review all the movies that we watch here for Film Club, but I pretty much review every movie that I watch ever in my life at any point because I'm a fucking nerd. And so if you're interested in that stuff, I encourage you, get on Letterboxd, follow me, talk about your favorite movies, and see all the great stuff that there is to offer on Letterboxd. As always, we're going to run through some screenings and event listings before we wrap things up here tonight. If there's an important theatrical event, cinema-related event, maybe you've got an indie movie screening of your own, whatever the case is, if you think it's important, send us an email at hellhoundfilmclub@gmail.com, and we would be happy to plug your film within our event listings.
All right. We got Friday, May 15th, A New Leaf, 55th anniversary 4K restoration, presented by Cinematograph Film at the IFC Center at 323 6th Avenue, New York, New York. This is the first theatrical run of Cinematograph's 4K restoration of the 70s critical success. A New Leaf is a 1971 American black comedy film written and directed by Elaine May in her directorial debut. Based on the short story, The Green Heart by Jack Ritchie, it stars May along with Walter Matthau, Jack Weston, George Rose, and James Coco. In the film, New York City playboy Henry Graham has run out of money. He decides to find a wealthy bride and finds Shy Harris, Henrietta Lowell. He takes control of her finances after their wedding and fires her dishonest staff. He carefully plans to poison her, but even his own best laid plans go awry.
Friday, May 15th. So I know this episode will be out afterwards, but for anybody that's here with us at our screening, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is going to be playing as part of the Asian American Heritage Month screening series presented by AMC Theaters nationwide. Named one of the 10 best movies of the millennium by Time magazine, two master warriors are faced with their greatest challenge when the treasured Green Destiny sword is stolen. A young aristocrat prepares for an arranged marriage, but soon reveals her superior fighting talents and her deeply romantic past. As each warrior battles for justice, they come face to face with their worst enemy and the inescapable, enduring power of love. Set against 19th century China's breathtaking landscape, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is the action-packed box office smash from acclaimed director Ang Lee, featuring stunning martial arts choreography by Yun Wo-ping, who did The Matrix as well.
Sunday, May 17th, Video Paradise 2, a VHS swap presented by Analog Basement at Clover Road Brewery in Hudson, Massachusetts. They say the sequel is almost never as good as the first one, while Paradise 2 is ready to blow the troop out of the water. The Analog Basement has assembled 6 of the best VHS and physical media market vendors in the New England area for another Sunday afternoon of slinging tapes at Clover Road Brewery. Whether you're a seasoned collector, restarting a collection, or brand new to the hobby, there will be something for everyone. You got a special, a certain genre you look for when you're tape hunting, action, horror, comedy, kung fu, we have it all. Join us on May 17th from 12 to 5 p.m.
Friday, May 22nd, I Love Boosters theatrical premiere is going to be in theater nationwide, including the Coolidge Corner Cinema in Brookline, Massachusetts. In the return of acclaimed director Boots Riley, nearly 8 years removed from his highly lauded Sorry to Bother You, I Love Boosters follows a crew of professional shoplifters who take aim at a cutthroat fashion maven, starring an all-star cast including Keke Palmer, Don Cheadle, Demi Moore, Taylor Page, and more.
Friday, May 22nd, Godzilla -1, Asian American Heritage Month screening series presented by AMC Theaters nationwide. This critically acclaimed 2023 installment of the franchise shows that Japan has barely recovered from the Second World War when a gigantic peril emerges off the coast of Tokyo. Kyoshi, a deserter traumatized by his first confrontation with Godzilla, sees this as an opportunity to redeem his conduct during the war.
June 5th, Trainspotting 4K screenings presented by Sony Pictures Classic at theaters nationwide. Set in an underbelly of Edinburgh the city fathers never dreamed of, Trainspotting is the story of Mark and his so-called friends, a bunch of losers, liars, psychos, thieves, and junkies. Hilarious but harrowing, the film charts the disintegration of their friendship as they proceed, seemingly inevitably, towards self-destruction. Mark alone has the insight and opportunity to escape his fate, but then again, does he really want to choose life?
Thursday, June 25th, Shaun of the Dead, part of the Thirsty Thursday series at Sumner Theater, bringing your favorite movie bars to the big screen. Shaun is a 30-something loser with a dull, easy existence. When he's not working at the electronics store, he lives with his solvent best friend, Ed, in a small flat on the outskirts of London. The only unpredictable element in his life is his girlfriend, Liz, who he wishes desperately for Shaun to grow up and become a man. When the town is inexplicably overran with zombies, Shaun must rise to the occasion and protect both Liz and his mother. That's 7:30 at Sumner Theater. For more details and other films in this series, visit www.sumnervilletheater.com.
Sunday, July 5th, is the Citizen Kane 85th anniversary, presented by Fathom Entertainment at theaters nationwide. A boy abandoned by his parents inherits a fortune, builds a global newspaper empire, and aspires to become president of the United States. But he loses everything
over an affair with an untalented nightclub singer. This fascinating story unfolds through the eyes of the people important to the tycoon, each showing a different aspect of Citizen Kane. This special 85th anniversary release includes exclusive insight from Leonard Maltin. If you live in our area of southern New Hampshire or in Massachusetts, there are screenings that day at AMC in Methuen, Apple Cinemas in Merrimack and Hooksett, Showcase Cinema in Lowell and Woburn, Cinemark in Salem, New Hampshire, and plenty of other theaters as well. Go to fathomentertainment.com to find a screening near you.
Friday, July 17th, the Odyssey 70mm theatrical premiere in theaters nationwide, including on 70mm at the Coolidge Corner Cinema in Brookline, Massachusetts. A mythical action epic from master of cinema Christopher Nolan, shot across the world, bringing Homer's foundational saga to screens, featuring Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, Zendaya, and Charlize Theron.
New Hampshire Film Festival, October 15th through the 18th throughout downtown Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Submissions are open now. The New Hampshire Film Festival is an annual fall event located in Portsmouth, New Hampshire that unites professional filmmakers, screenwriters, and film industry experts with film lovers. Drawing thousands of attendees annually, NHFF is the region's premier film festival and is an integral resource for local and national industry professionals who return each year. Movie Maker magazine named the New Hampshire Film Festival on its annual list of 50 film festivals worth the entry fee, celebrating festivals that serve movie makers and audiences in some of the best destinations in the world. For more details, visit www.nhfilmfestival.com. And as always, we're going to shout out some of our favorite theaters. If you've got a great local theater near you, please let us know so that when we're out on the road doing our thing, we can come and check them out when we have time. We usually barrel through the history of a lot of these theaters, but I think you guys are like pretty familiar with this if you've been keeping up with the show. And if not, it's definitely worth doing some research on. So some of the theaters that we like to encourage people to check out, especially if you're in our area or in the area of any of these theaters: Coolidge Corner Cinema in Brookline, Massachusetts, Brattle Theater in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the Wilton Town Hall Theater in Wilton, New Hampshire, the Milford Drive-In Theater in Milford, New Hampshire, the Mendon Twin Drive-In Theater in Mendon, Mass, Wellfleet Drive-In Theater in Cape Cod, Mass, the Somerville Theater in Somerville, Massachusetts, Canonic in Portland, Maine, and the Circle Cinema Theater in Tulsa, and the Admiral Twin Drive-In in Tulsa as well. As always, send your event listings and theater recommendations to hellhoundfilmclub@gmail.com. Now, this is everybody's favorite part of the show. We're going to give some shit away. Guys, what are we doing? What are we doing right now?
Giving shit away.
That was so bad. So sorry.
So horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was rough. The applause didn't go off.
Oh
Nothing.
my goodness. So many things.
Oh, we have bullshit now. Getting all those claps later.
All right.
That was for the internet being slow. So you guys know the deal. Somebody is going to win this beautiful poster right here. It's a 12 by 18 Godzilla 1998 poster. You yourself could win a poster of Danny's favorite movie. Let's find out who's going home with the poster of Danny's favorite movie of all time.
That's right.
The Citizen Kane of our generation.
Big winner, big winner, big winner.
I'm giving it to Sam.
Dude, no matter how many times we add names to this thing, it always goes to Jess somehow.
I know. Everybody's going to start thinking I'm rigging it over here.
She liked the movie though.
She did like the, yeah. Jess, you actually liked this movie, so I think this should go up on the wall at home.
I know. And if you're complaining you have too many, I'll take one of the other ones.
Can we switch back to the main screen so I can show this off one
Absolutely,
more time?
my man. We will go ahead and remove that. And
So our dear friend Jess from the program is going home with this 12 by 18 poster tonight. that I know she is excited to go and hang up on her wall at her house immediately, and it's going to go well with all of her home goods decor and sports decorations.
And Star Wars.
And Star Wars. Ooh, okay.
A lot.
And
A lot of
cows. And
Ooh,
a lot of
Star Wars and cows. Okay.
Yes, a lot.
Star Wars, cows, Godzilla, and Orson Welles. Is that the other one you
Yeah,
got?
I got 2.
Let's go. You got to start a Hall of Fame.
I got last week's.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, she got the.
Damn, that was a cool one.
I know it would look really good with my Back to the Future car, my
That's
Lego
true.
car.
Good thinking.
I know, but I can't win them.
Nope, and we can't make any more of them.
Nope, can't make any more. They're one of ones.
After we print one, the file self-destructs.
2 of 2s because we're gonna start auctioning
Yeah.
them off. That's right.
2 of 2s.
That's how we're gonna get our money.
And since this was episode 20 and everybody hated the movie anyways, this is actually the last episode of our season. So I hope you guys have had a great time. Between this and a Goofy movie, I just don't know if I have it in me anymore, guys. Yeah, Goofy movie was way more painful than this one tonight. But
In the words of Matthew Broderick, while he was being cornered by a bunch of CGI T-Rexes, I mean Godzillas,
Velociraptors.
and I quote, "Oh dear."
That's funny that you keep bringing up the Goofy movie. I would have figured that it would have been the Batman movie you would have brought up.
nah, nothing. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember. Look, people can want to argue about Batman with me. I don't know if it's a road they want to go down all the time. And so those that step in the fire, they either come out unscathed or they get burned. I don't know what else
Oh,
to tell
speaking
you.
of, I meant to ask you about this. Did you hear that they're gonna release Nightfall?
I have been seeing some rumors of that. I don't really understand. Like, is it like if it's animated, I'm all for it. If it's live action, I don't understand yet what the plan is. Because my understanding is Battinson's storyline is headed to the Long Halloween.
But I believe that's supposed to be animated. That's where I believe it's supposed to be going.
Okay, that would be
Nightfall,
dope.
and it's supposed to be dropped as 3 individual movies.
That makes sense. Oh, you're right there, Killer.
Which you and I know the importance of Nightfall.
Fenty Wap over here.
I know, but back on track, right?
Yeah, back on track.
All right. So
let's get the fuck out of here.
As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to subscribe to our main YouTube channel, Hellhound Publishing, and subscribe to our newest channel, Hellhound Film Club, dedicated to this show, as well as bonus clips, exclusive bonus episodes, interviews, and more. Those subs and comments are really taking us places.
Please consider being a part of our Patreon community. You can join for as little as $1 a month and get exclusive and early access to Hellhound Film Club, as well as all of the other podcasts, music, and book releases from Hellhound Publishing. You'll get everything that we've released since starting there back in 2018. And your support will go to helping us get additional cameras, microphones, computers, and help us find more ways to promote and market the show to new audiences. Join for as little as $1 a month today by visiting patreon.com/Hellhound Publishing.
And don't forget, you can join us here every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. at the Spot in downtown Nashua, New Hampshire for our free movie screening and live recording of these episodes. That's Wednesday nights at 217 Main Street, Nashua, New Hampshire. Come down, watch a flick, grab a drink, eat well with good friends, and
don't forget the popcorn.